Hello everybody, my name is Dwayne Richardson. I just turned 49 the other day, and I wanted to try to honor those who taught me and helped me and brought me along in this music industry. I'd mostly say out of Chicago on the blues scene. A lot of stuff I see on YouTube, people are very prideful and arrogant, and then people just do the best they can, and it's a mix of a lot of different things. But what I wanted to do was try to honor those who I think are legends and who are those who may have been looked over as far as this music scene. And all I can really comment on is my experience. I was 18 years old. I graduated from the Chicago Academy for the Arts, but I wanted to see if I could really play. The Academy was a very special school. It was a bunch of people who were all misfits, I guess, or didn't fit in, but we found a place, and I did a lot of playing there, and I did things with Liz Withers, who has become a very effective and prominent artist, and singing with everybody these days who's so-called popular in the pop field, but she does a lot of stuff to help kids. And I was there with Lara Flynn Boyle, who did like the Men in Black movies and The Practice, and I was there with Frayne Lewis and Bobby Lewis, whose father is Ramsey Lewis, and my friend Chris Denson, who helped me to do a lot of things, got me on the album with Kanye West and Malik Youssef. But when I got out of there, my point is saying when I got out of there, I wanted to see if I could really play. And I always loved the blues. My friend Pete Kavakovich, he got me to New York, and we had opened up some shows for Blues Traveler and the Spin Doctors back when they were happening. But my point is that when I got out of high school in 1988 or so, I wanted to see if I could really play. And in Chicago at that time, when you would go to a blues jam, it's much different than it is today. They do have the jam at Buddy Guy's, but the other jams that are around these days are not, it's just not the same. At Buddy Guy's, a guy named not Buddy Guy's, Wise Fools, Ron Shanover was doing the jam. But see, the thing back then was Coco Taylor would be hanging in the back. Sun Seals would be hanging out. Otis Rush would be hanging out. You could go to the jam at Blues Etc. Otis Rush would be hanging out. Leroy Brown. At that time, people like Mighty Joe Young, who were towards the end of their career, who were passing away, but Coco Taylor, all these people would be sitting in the back shooting pool and drinking. And when you'd get up and play, such as I had done, you could run into Buddy Guy, Otis Rush, Sun Seals, Mighty Joe Young, Tommy McCracken, so many people I forget. The names that I mentioned don't even touch on the names of people that I forgot. But you could have these people see you play, and they would pick you up, and that's what happened to me. But in this video, I wanted to speak about a gentleman named Dion Payton. was playing with, I believe I was playing with Valley Wellington first. I was playing guitar with Valley Wellington with the great, he's still around today, Rico McFarlane, the guitar player. I was with Dion first. But what I wanted to speak on was Dion Payton. Actually, the most phenomenal guitar player that I have ever had the chance of playing for. In the scene in Chicago and traveling and playing and touring with people like the Professor, Tommy McCracken, Dion Payton, so many others, like I say, I forget. Big Time Sarah, J.W. Williams, Michael Coleman. I got to rub shoulders with people like Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Buddy Guy, so many people. But when I met Dion, it was a very life-changing experience. And in my life, I've had many ups and many downs. And I don't want to comment on anything that would cast a bad light on anybody. So I'm not touching that right now. What my real hope is to send this video to some friends, put this out there, and see if they would appreciate me maybe showing you some things that I learned from Dion and showing you the ways that he played his songs. But Dion Payton, for those who don't know, I believe he arranged for Chess Records when he was a young man. I know he played with Albert King. I know he played with Lonnie Brooks. But he was an imposing figure. He had a cowboy hat with a snake skull on the front. He played through a Marshall Stack. Nobody played through a Marshall Stack. People had super reverbs, twin reverbs. People had Mesa Boogies. People had all kinds of equipment, but nobody played through a Marshall Stack. And he had a delay pedal and a distortion pedal. And to me, he played, it was a mix of Beethoven and the blues. He asked me to play with him, and I began to rehearse with him because Dion would not, you're not just going to get up there and jam with Dion. You have to learn how he does things, and each person, the guitar player, the drummer, the keyboard player, and the bass player. When I came in, it was Lafayette Lyle on bass. John Christie played the keyboards. There's another man named Daryl, I think, that played the keyboards, and there's Daryl Payton who played the drums. But you all had your part to play. One story I remember about Dion was he was showing me his parts, and I had gotten out of the academy a few years earlier, so I thought I knew all about jazz at 18 years old. Dion was probably 40, 45 at the time. But he would show me the parts to everybody. The keyboard player had a part to play. The drummer had a part to play. The guitar player had a part to play. The bass player had a part to play because he was a genius. Dion was a genius. And I wanted to throw in a minor ninth when he said play a minor seventh, and he had told me, please listen to what I'm trying to tell you, because he said, if you play what I show you to play, no matter where you go, when people hear you play this rhythm, they'll respect you and admire what you play. And I thought he was just bullshitting, to tell you the truth. And I didn't play what he told me to play. And one night he turned around to me in the middle of the gig, the middle of the tune, and said, I'm docking you $75. Well, I think that's all I was getting paid was $75, which was pretty good for that day. Back in, I don't know, 91, 92. I said, man, how you gonna dock me my money? He said, man, I'm trying to teach you something, and you don't want to listen. So either you dock the money and you come back and play and play what I tell you, or you could just go do whatever you want to do. So I was mad, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna listen to what Dion was saying. And he told me, he said, man, if you notice, when you play the parts you play, and I play certain parts I play, the audience is going to react. The audience is going to go crazy on this part. The audience is going to listen on this part. He knew he was a genius, in my opinion. People used to say, man, Dion plays the same shit day after day after night after night after night after night after night. But I challenge you, I don't know any guitarist who could play the same solo night after night after night and excite the same reaction from the crowd to make them go crazy when they hit the peaks and valleys and stuff that they did in their solos. And to me, in my opinion, like, I'm not saying that it's law, like it's gotta be that way, but I've never met a guitar player or any other instrumentalist that would play the same solo, and when they hit a certain note or played a certain phrase, the people would react to it and feel what they were playing. So I always call Dion a mix of Beethoven and the blues, man. The dude, he had a structure, he had a way of playing, especially on the minor, and he felt that minor songs were more effective than major. He said that if you notice, everybody who played, who was famous or who had a big impact, usually played in a minor key, like Albert King, Jimi Hendrix, and people like that. And I saw what he was saying. But he said, when he docked me, he said, man, just listen to what I play. Play what I tell you and watch what happens. So after he docked me that $75, and that was all we were getting paid, I stayed playing with him. And I saw what he was saying. And I'll tell you, there was nobody. Man, there were some awesome guitarists. Rico McFarlane, one of the baddest guitarists in the world, man. He didn't play like Dion. He didn't play the parts like Dion. You had people like Pete Allen. You had Sun Seals. You had people who, you know, on that level, Magic Slim, Carlos Johnson, Michael Coleman, but none of them played like Dion. You could hear Michael Coleman play, and then you could hear Carlos Johnson play, and you could see how, yeah, this kind of moves with that, and it's the kind of same thing. But when Dion played, didn't nobody play like Dion, man. I also remember one other time. I was sitting in the van with Dion on a break, and we were playing Merlin. You younger folks won't know what Merlin is, but it was a game that would light up and it would play a certain note. It'd be like boom, 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 and you had to press the lights to make the sound after it did it. And if you didn't do it, it would go boom. And you know, and Dion said to me, man, I could play that phrase, because like the longer you got it right, the longer it would go. So it would play a phrase like boom, bing, don't ding, 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 boom, boom, ding, bing, boom, bing, something like that. And Dion said, I'm gonna play that tonight, and he'd play it in one of his songs, you know. So what I'm trying to do is just tell y'all about Dion. I'm trying to honor some people. I'm trying to do a series. I'm hoping it might work. Everybody wants to express themselves. Everybody wants to feel important for what they do. Everybody wants to make a mark in history. Everybody, that's one thing. I used to play with the professor Eddie Lusk, and we would tour everywhere, man. Eddie Lusk brought me everywhere. We were playing in Kitchener, Canada, at Pop the Gator, and we opened up for Mel Brown. Mel Brown told me, man, make history, man. Do your thing, make history. So everybody wants to make a spot, and in this day and age of social media and all that, you know, everybody's doing something. Everybody's doing a demo of a pedal. Everybody's talking about this, talking about that. And like I say, I hope I reach some form of humility in it all. But once again, getting back to Dion Payton, he taught me so much. And he told me, man, if you play these rhythms that I play, that I show you, people will come up to you and say, man, you are a great rhythm player. And that's true. I play those rhythms to this day. I played with Dion in like 90, 91, 92. Here it is, 2018. If I play a rhythm that Dion played, people be like, man, that's some cold rhythm, man. You know, and that's what he taught me. And I'll tell one other story about Dion, then I'll just get on to my point. I was playing with Dion at the Kingston Mines. I tell you, man, Chicago, man, it's a cold city. You want to play the blues, hey, you know, I hear these guys, they talk about, man, playing like Jimmy Reed and playing the authentic blues. You know, you hear Jimmy Vaughn talking about Jimmy Reed, and I hear so many guys talking about what's blues, what's not, so and so. But man, when you came to Chicago, man, we were playing with Dion, and this was when Guns N' Roses were at their highlight. And Axl, is his name Axl? And what was the guitar player's name? I don't know. Axl Rose and the other dude, the Slash. They came into the Kingston Mines. They went up to Dion. I mean, Dion was holding court back then. Dion was the judge. He was holding it down at the Kingston Mines. And they said, man, we're Guns N' Roses. Can we sit in? He said, I don't know who you are. And they said, man, we're the national recording Grammy winning so-and-so. Slash said, man, can I please play? Because see, these guys had heard about Dion. All the rock guys, Slash, Rat, I don't remember the names of these bands, but not somebody like Eddie Van Halen, but all those popular pop rock bands knew Dion. They actually tried to set him up with record deals because what he was playing on the guitar in blues with a feeling was what these guys wished they could play on the rock scene, and they couldn't do it. But Dion told Slash and Axl, he said, man, no, you can't play on my stage. And it wasn't a thing of pride. It was that the guys in Chicago knew what they could do, man. I never been to Austin. I haven't had a chance to play in Austin. I don't know too many spots around these days that are a hub or a main central point for blues, but I'll tell you, man, these guys in the late 80s and 90s, Carlos Johnson, Michael Coleman, Dion Payton, Rico McFarlane, you couldn't beat these guys, man. You'd have bands like the Black Crowes come in. These bands would want to play with these people. That's where the Rolling Stones came, and they found Sugar Blue. And Sugar Blue came up with the do do be do boo boo do do be do 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 be do. Rolling Stones heard them play in Chicago, man. Chicago, some bad cats, man. You come, man. I'll tell you, I went everywhere. Europe, Canada, United States, France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, Belgium, Kitchener, Vancouver, British Columbia, Quebec. when a Chicago band came through to play blues, it ain't nobody throwing down like Chicago. Nobody, I'll tell you. But Dion told them no, man. So then they went across the street to blues. Whoever was playing the blues told Axel and Slash, no, you can't play here. So they took him to Lily's, and they finally let him sit in at Lily's. And I'm not down in Slash and all them, but it was just the fact that these people knew what they were worth, and they weren't going to have somebody come in and impose upon what they were doing. You had to honor these guys, man. And if you weren't going to honor them, they didn't care. They would be there doing what they do. So Dion had told them no. You know, anybody else, Slash would come through. It's like, yeah, come on my stage. But what I was doing by these videos, man, Dion is still around. I don't think he's playing that much. But what I wanted to do was to see if I could show y'all one or two of his rhythm patterns in the songs. He did a lot of Albert King songs because he used to arrange for Albert King and he played with Albert King. But he did it in a cold way that nobody else did. And I haven't, when you look up Dion Payton, you might hear that some rock band tried to hook him up with a deal, or he did the Young Blue Bloods album with Bruce Iglar, who sent me over to Europe to play. Or you might hear that Dion had a cult following. But you're not gonna know. You ain't not gonna know nothing. One dude, I think his name was San Diego or something. He posted some stuff on YouTube. Finally, put some of Dion's music on YouTube. There's a video of him at the Blues Fest playing. But other than that, man, you're not gonna know nothing about this guy, about Dion. But I'll tell you, he's one of the greatest guitar players of all times. If he was on a stage with Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is just my opinion. If he was on a stage with Stevie Ray Vaughan would be questioning or wondering or in deep respect of Dion. People like Joe Bonamassa and all these people who are famous today, in my opinion, just my opinion is what it is. Opinions like what they say, assholes, we all got one. In my opinion, man, they can't hold a candle, man, to Dion. Dion was very kind to me. Dion was patient with me, but Dion showed me how to play. He showed me how to play rhythm. Dion can steal a show playing rhythm, only. I seen him play rhythm and steal a show. So what I wanted to ask was if it'd be all right if I showed y'all one or two of the rhythm parts of his tune. I so hope that he wouldn't get mad at me. But I feel that the world needs to know, man. The world needs to know what this guy did. You know, you hear about people teaching about George Benson, people teaching about Wes Montgomery, people teaching about, everybody teaching about Stevie Ray. I used to try to play Stevie Ray note for note when I was 18, 19, 20, and I thought I did a pretty good job. I still hear people doing it, but I'm at the point now where, man, I try to play what I play, you know. But I was hoping that it'd be all right if I would show y'all some of his stuff, because I tell you, it's unique, it's powerful, and it'll open up your rhythm playing. Don't nobody play no rhythm like these parts. I tell you, nobody. Nobody is going to be playing a rhythm part, whether it be in blues, jazz, rock, heavy metal. nobody's going to be playing a rhythm part how Dion told you to play. And this is the last thing. Let me get to this. Dion, a lot of legends have come through Dion. Joanna Connor played with Dion. Vince Aguada played with Dion. Sam Good played with Dion. George Bays played with Dion. And if you Google those people, Joanna Connor, you'll see that she is doing her thing. You know, Vince Aguada, he's doing his thing. Sam Good, man, was a legend in Chicago. But they all came through Dion, and this is the one thing. If I got with Joanna Connor and I said, let's play this Dion Payton song, they would know exactly what to play. Wouldn't be no jam, wouldn't be no, I'm playing this, I'm gonna groove on that. Everybody knew their part. But some great guitar players came through Dion because they respected him, man. So y'all let me know. Is it okay if I teach y'all the Dion Payton tune? And would it be honorable to Dion if I showed the world what he was doing? Or would it be in bad taste to show what he was doing? But other than that, folks, I'm just trying, man. It's late. It's like 2 in the morning. And I've been thinking about doing this for a while. But y'all check out Dion. Y'all Google Dion Payton and the 43rd Street Blues Band. Listen to him. Give him a good listen, man. It ain't traditional, that's for sure. But I tell you, ain't nobody else doing what he's doing. But ain't nobody else doing what he was doing. So peace. God bless you. This is my new saying, man. Don't despise a butter and sugar sandwich on white bread. You know, a butter and sugar sandwich on white bread in peace is much better than a filet mignon in a house full of strife. So I'm trying to just stay peaceful. Thank you for everybody who's helped me, who's dealt with my BS. Thank you for everybody who's been patient with me. Thank you for everybody that has love for me. But let me know, man. Can I show y'all some Dion, or should I let it lie and let the universe move where it does? God bless y'all. Bye.